cherry Kool-Aid. The like
Okay.
super sweet thick kind. Like
No, it's actually mostly water,
okay.
and then it's just a thing. Oh, we're live. We're on. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pep Talks. I am your hostess with the mostest, Peppermint. I look like a mushroom. Um, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And you are watching Pep Talks, the interactive weekly show which covers hot topics and commentary on notable black cinema throughout her story. And there is lots of it. And most of it I know y'all haven't seen. So hopefully you watched this week's movie, but I'll get into that later. Each week I invite you to sit down, put on your PJs, your favorite mud mask, get some popcorn, and get comfy with me and my celebrity guests as we dish our takes on the movies, drama, and our favorite trends and products. This is a celebration of all things that I love: makeup, black culture, and connecting with each and every one of you, which is why I will be in the comments. So watch your mouth, because I will be right up in there. Today's guest and movie are Honey Davenport and Eve's Bayou. But before we get into it, first thing I want to tell you about is the remind you that last week we looked at the Kate Somerville Delicate Soothing Cleanser, which I guess in French is Nettoyant Apaisant. That's right. It is, it was actually a lifesaver because it's obviously, I'm on the East Coast, it's winter, obviously. And this is a nice, creamy cleanser. And I've decided I'm going to start using this cleanser before putting on my makeup. Super smooth. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And you just put it on. And you wet your face first. You get wet first. And then you rub it in like this. And then when you're done, you just wipe it off your face. This really does remind me of another action that I've done before, but I won't say what it is. Ew! Gosh, no wonder I like this cleanser so much. The point is, I really do like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a little bit more than the goat milk cleanser that they have, which is really similar. This one's newer, so maybe this is like a replacement for it. I don't really know. I've said this a few times. I'm not really a fan of rubbing milk on my face. I got to get out of this. The point is, there's that, which I love. And then I am absolutely so over, and this just occurred to me while I was getting ready for the show. Why does each box of microwave popcorn only have 3 bags in it? I don't understand that. I know you can get a jumbo, like you can get a jumbo if you want, but like most people, does anybody really only eat 3 bags of popcorn per box? It's so dumb. Don't you think there should be more? Anyway, I want to ask Honey Davenport about this, who is our special guest. And let's please welcome to the stage, the digital stage, my dear guest, Honey Davenport. Honey, please tell
Hey!
everyone your pronouns.
My pronouns are they, them. I'm Honey Davenport. And
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Well,
That
welcome to the show.
thank you. That
Wait, tell me about that. What do you think about that? Why does each box of popcorn only have 3 bags in it?
See,
Why?
I don't know,
There's
but
not enough.
that has me questioning how old the popcorn in my cabinet is because it's got more than 3 bags. So now if the new thing is putting only 3 bags, how old is that
No,
my cabinet?
no, to be fair, you can get like a jumbo. You
Okay.
can go out of your way
Mm-hmm.
to get more, big to get the bigger box. And they do sell sometimes, but not at every store and not of every brand. I think the basic thing of popcorn should just be 12 packs. Because what? You're going to have more. Well, first of all, okay, when do you eat popcorn? When you're watching a movie.
Right.
Who are you eating popcorn with? Who are you watching movies with? Many times with friends or someone else.
Right.
1 bag of popcorn is not enough.
No, you're right.
Unless you're trying to be cute and no one's going to eat it. So you're always going to pop 2 bags of popcorn. The minute you pop 2 pops of popcorn, you only have 1 bag left, and now you're almost out.
That's true. It's for one movie.
That doesn't make any sense.
They said 1 box per movie, sis. That's all.
No, one bag per movie. You said
One box is a movie. 3 bags.
Yeah, no, one box is a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
One box is a movie, and then you're out, and then you got one bag shake rattling around in there, and you're like, damn, now we gotta go get more popcorn.
Well,
it's not enough.
That's because they're losing money because we're not spending $8 for it at movie theaters. So they have to upgrade.
You know what? That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're like, that's the truth. Oh, those evil, shady people. Listen, if you are watching on Twitter, wait, not Twitter. If you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, check the link in the description or on my Twitch profile to leave me a tip to support the production of this show. This show is free to watch, of course, but it is not free to produce. Mm-hmm. So please donate by hitting the tip button below or to the right or to the left. I'm not sure where it is, so that we can bring you the best each and every single week. Okay, let's jump right into this interview. We had a fierce interview over on our Patreon, but we'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Let's jump in. Okay, I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Number one. This is a serious one. This is a deep one. This is very deep. Mm-hmm. It's about the bathroom.
Okay.
On the wall, the roll of toilet paper. Over or under? Go.
Wait. Over. Definitely.
Okay, good. I knew I liked you.
It gets stuck when you pull it from under sometimes, and then you just end up with like one sheet. Like, what is this going to do? No.
Not enough.
Not enough.
That's what we know. You know, yeah, I've only had 1 or 2 guests say under. One said they were like, you know, it was like basically a present vote in the Congress. They were just like either or, and I'm like, no, not either or.
Yeah.
And then somebody else said under.
Yeah, it's over for sure. It's over for me.
Besides what you already have going on, if you could open your own small business, what would it be? A store, an agency, a school for the talented children? Exceptionally gifted children?
I would, if I could do anything, like, and it wouldn't be like taxing to my schedule, I would open a school. I would open a school to teach kids conversation without animosity.
Wow, an entire school dedicated to that?
Yes.
So there would be no math class with her?
No, just conversation. Like an after-school program, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would take that. That actually sounds like the kind of thing that I would be into, like, learning more of, you know?
Yeah.
I think I can talk, but, like, as a kid, I would have been like, ooh, a talking class?
Right?
Because I'm always talking in class.
But imagine...
I think that's fair.
Like, a class on conversation and how to have conversation without, like, getting aggressive.
I think it would be good. Anything that helps us communicate better is A-okay in my book. Mm-hmm. Did you used to get in trouble for talking in school?
No, not in school. In school, I was...
No?
It's so weird. Growing up, I was a total introvert, and now I'm an extreme extrovert and need somebody to be in the room with me at all times. But
that's
growing
so
up...
funny. Sorry. I used to get... the fairy just came. I used to get in trouble. I used to get sent home with notes saying that, oh, your child talks too much. That's what the teachers would say.
No, I was in the back of the room. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I felt like I grew up as such a strange child. I just felt like a total outsider. It's so weird.
Aww.
I know. It's a weird childhood.
Well, I love you.
I love you too.
Listen.
I mean, my family loved me, but like I just felt like I just was not a match for West Philadia. Like
they did not love you. They told me. They called me today and they wanted me to tell you. I'm just kidding. Okay, here's the question. Finish this sentence. Or say it. Finish the sentence. Mm-hmm. And this is about you, not about me.
Okay.
Ready? You can't tell by looking at me, but...
I am really hung, I guess. I don't know. I was trying to think of what you said.
Advertisements.
You know,
I'm not necessarily. I can't say that I would necessarily like look at you and say, "Oh, she got trade."
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's probably true.
Yeah. People are normally surprised. They're like, "Where do you hide that when you're on stage?" I'm like,
Ah! Oh my God, they're not. I don't think they have. I don't think they finished that entire sentence. Oh my God, this is too much. Okay, will you be doing drag in 30 years from now?
If I'm lucky.
So what year is that? That's 2051.
Yes, if I'm lucky, that's when we first reopened after COVID.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about your drag children. Who are they, and how many do you have?
I really need like my tubes tied 3 times. I have too many.
Oh my gosh.
Detox boost.
She's had a drag litter.
Yeah, but they're all so good. They're also like, I'm so proud of all of them. Detox.
Who are they?
Detox Bustier.
Detox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Detox Bustier.
Monet Exchange. Kareem McJagger.
Yes.
I have so many. Misty Mountains. Sasha Pierce Davenport. Zach Davenport. Jace Vegas. Oh gosh, it's such a list. Novazar. I've got too many kids. I'm definitely that.
That's 9 so far.
Yeah, I can't keep my legs closed. Do
you have more?
I'm just trying to like not forget somebody so that like they don't like.
Oh my God, we'll wait. We don't want you to get the Bad Mom of the Year award.
I'm definitely about to get the Bad Mom of the Year. There's somebody who like I'm definitely leaving out right now, and I'm gonna feel so terrible. But whatever. That sounds like me.
If you all in the comments know who Honey's 10th drag child is, then leave it in the comments.
Right?
maybe they know.
If I don't have a 10th drag child, I think that's a calling. Like, maybe I'm...
Oh no, then they're going to be like, me, it's me. Remember, Mom, it's me. Okay, who is your drag mom?
My drag mom was Deja Davenport. But
yes, my sister.
I was also influenced by you. Like, you were my introduction to drag. So before Deja took me under her wing, I spent 4 years learning the craft from you. So, like, if your drag mom is who brought you into the world of drag, you. But she set me down and, like, really gave me a lot of skill. And so I guess both of y'all.
Aw. You get the skill from her and the business from me.
That's the real tea. That's the real tea, honey.
Okay, y'all. So I want you to head over to my Patreon if you'd like to see me and Honey talk about the worst meal that she ever made. She says she's a good cook, but she did confess about the worst meal that she ever made. And her biggest pet peeve. And what else did we talk about? Whether or not, wait. I don't remember. I don't remember. Just going over and see the rest of the things.
I don't remember either.
Oh yeah. What was it, Mitch? Oh yeah, what wasn't shown on Drag Race? What was edited out of Drag Race? Sorry, my brain is crazy today. But that's what it is. So head over to my Patreon and you can see that and exclusive clips and full episodes of Pepp Talks on the Patreon whenever you want. Whenever you want. Whenever you want. Whenever you want. Okay, so now we have some Patreon questions.
You know what that reminded me of? Peppermint. Freestyle.
Out. I should bring that back, I think. I might bring that back. Oh my God. Mitch, we might have a new segment.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I'm watching this every week.
Not today. Not on today, darling.
Okay, dang. Okay.
Rafe, will you remind me of that thing that you're about to close when we talk later on tonight, please? Okay, so we have a question for you
Mm-hmm.
from our viewing audience on Patreon. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you ever have an internal struggle? Can you just keep scrolling up there, babe? Do you ever have an internal struggle with your drag persona, outshining yourself out of drag? Whoa, these are deep. Does
That's
it bother you when people want and not Honey Davenport and not you and not you're out of drag? Are you? Is it cool if I say
yeah,
your
yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
drag name?
Yeah.
Does it bother you when people want Honey Davenport and not James?
Um,
Wow, that's a deep
that's a
question.
really deep question. Kind of. Okay, so not if they're cute. Like, not if they're hot. Like, I have a rule. Like, I'll talk about Drag Race, and we can like, you can ask me my feelings on RuPaul if I'm getting laid out of the situation. But like, if you're not cute, then no. Is that weird?
What? Wait a minute. So if you're cute, then
You're cute, then
you're okay with it?
yeah, they're
Oh
cute.
no, if you're not cute, then if you're gonna get laid out of it, then you want them to wait, what?
If I'm gonna
What?
get laid out of it, you can be like in all of the fact that I'm Honey Davenport. That's fine. Like we're probably not gonna be friends, but I can get laid out of it. That's fine. But if this is like something real, like like I don't know, like and or a real friendship where I'm not like just trying to bone, then like yeah, that would be weird. That would be strange.
Okay, so it does bother you when?
It does bother me
When
if
it's
it's
a
not
real
just a hook.
relate
It
what?
bothers me if it's not just a hookup. If it's just a hookup, whatever. But if
You
it's
don't
not,
care because you'll never see them again if it's just a hookup. But if it's not just a hookup and it's now I wasn't thinking romantic. I was thinking like just in general, but I guess that means only in your personal life because obviously if it's professional then they are going to want Honey Davenport,
yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. Have you had one of those situations before?
In my personal life, yeah. I ended up my first the first guy I dated in LA ended up being a stalker. Like I literally had to get a restraining order. It was a lot. It was
Oh
really
my gosh, a real restraining order?
it was really intense. It was really
What
like
is this?
serious.
CSI? Law and Order? Damn.
Girl, LA is crazy. I told you I miss my New York friends so much.
If you if you love Honey Davenport any way that they decide to give it to you, then put is there a honey emoji? A bee
Yeah,
emoji.
there's a honey and a bee
So
emoji.
put a honey and a bee emoji in the comments right now. Right down below. Right down below. Um oh well, that is the end of that portion of the interview. We've gotten to know more than we ever would have guessed with our guest, Honey Davenport. And now it's time to talk about our movie of the week, which is Eve's Bayou, which came out in 1997. And we're not going to show the trailer clip anymore. We don't do that no more. But we are going to. I'm going to read this lovely synopsis in my Louisianian accent.
Okay.
Oh, now over the course of a long, no, over the course of a hot, long Louisiana summer, a 10-year-old black girl, Eve Batiste, played by Journey Smollett, discovers that her family's affluent existence is merely a facade. The philandering of her suave doctor, Louis, The philandering of her suave doctor father, Louis, creates a rift, throwing her family into emotional turmoil. I don't know if that sounds like a Louisiana accent, but it kind of does, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. If that's
Oh, shut up!
that's that part of Louisiana we'll talk about.
Well, can you do a Louisiana accent?
No, I went to AMDA. They didn't teach us that.
You better get your money back.
Right?
I went there too.
Is that where they taught you that Louisiana accent?
Shut up. Okay, I'm checking these comments right now. What are your overall thoughts of the film? Like, just right off the bat.
So, first off, it is one of my favorite childhood movies. Like, I love films that are like witchy and magical, and I really, really, really love black movies from the 90s because I grew up in the 90s.
Okay.
So,
had you seen this before, or was this
Yeah.
your first time seeing it?
I saw it before.
Okay.
I saw this when it came out. Like, I might have went to see this in the theater or had it on like a VHS, like a girl.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did have Eve's Bayou on VHS in my house. Yeah, I love this movie. I really, really love this movie.
Okay, yeah. I do remember seeing it. I actually didn't see it when it first came out originally. But you are very right about that. 90s movies, I mean, I guess all decades have this. It's not unique for 90s movies, but 90s movies have a very certain style that I don't love the style necessarily. The storytelling of movies these days seems to go in a lot more and a lot deeper to everything. And 90s movies was just like, just show it once and then there's no explanation and, things like that. And so my overall, like, it was a really, really famous or really popular movie. I think it was a hit movie when it first came out. And I haven't really heard that much about it since then, you know what I mean? And so I never really went back and watched it. And in 97, I was busy in 1997. But one of the things that is, like, let me pull this up. One of the things that is so amazing, which I love doing with 90s things, I'm actually currently doing it with Star Trek The Next Generation, which is not a black film. But I'm going back, I'm binge watching the entire season because I got nothing better to do. And seeing Star Trek The Next Generation from 1990, it started in 1989, 91, 92, 93. That's when it ran. I'm finding all of these like major actors that had these like little bit part sort of background roles. And that's like the best part. So Eve's Bayou has some of my favorite actors in it that are like today.
Right.
But they're, I forgot that they were in it. I didn't realize. And so Journey Smollett, who is in a Lovecraft Country, currently, she is the star of this film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, when it first came on, I thought it was just gonna, how they have like little kids in the film who will play the main characters. I thought it was just gonna be like, she's gonna play the young version of the character and then we'll get to see an adult do it. I didn't realize it's about this little girl the whole way through.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, yeah. So Journey Smollett's in it.
I just realized that's the same girl from Lovecraft Country. I was like, where do I know this beautiful woman
Yeah.
from?
And she must have been, she was definitely in some other stuff because I'll never forget that face. She had like these gorgeous big white teeth. And so she was in Eve's Bayou. She was in Friday Night Lights, which I never saw.
Me neither.
Something called Underground. Maybe I'll go watch that. She was in Temptation Confessions, Full House, Roll Bounce. Never saw that. She was on True Blood.
Little Bow Wow, girl.
No, darling. Do I look like I've seen Roll Bounce? She was on Cosby. God, is there any other movie that... I'm just trying to... She was in Selma. Oh, no. She was in Selma Lord. That's not Selma. Okay. She was in Selma Lord. Okay, so I don't really know most of the stuff that she's been in. So Lovecraft Country is the main thing that I know her from. And she was great in this. I think this is some deeper storylines than I expected in the when I sat down to watch it. But Megan Good is in it. Lynn Whitfield, Debbie Morgan, Samuel L. Jackson, Diane Carroll, and Jake Smollett. And Journey and Jake are both Jussie Smollett's siblings. Lisa Nicole Carson is in it. These are Roger Governor Smith, who played. He was in Do the Right Thing, and he was what's his name? With the he was like, had a learning disability, and he was like drawing pictures and selling them. I can't remember his name, that character's name. Branford Marsalis. It's like it's an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Totally. So what did you think of the acting?
It was epic. I thought, so first off, Lynn Whitfield is like my favorite, especially from that era.
I mean, come on. Lynn Whitfield, y'all. Lynn Whitfield, I mean, probably one of the most, what was her breakout, like, major? She played Josephine Baker in the Josephine Baker Story.
Was that one where she was crazy, like a stalker or something?
Let me see.
You can play that game? No.
She was in The Cheetah Girls. Didn't see that. She was in Tales from the Hood 3, which came out last year.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh. I didn't know. Tales from the Hood 3 came out in 2020. She was in Jaws, The Revenge. Oh, she was in The Women of Brewster Place. That was her big breakout, I'm sure. Oh.
What else was she in?
Hold on. Let me see. I just scrolled all the way up. Yeah, Women of Brewster Place. She was in, God darn it, I keep skipping the thing. What else is she in? Let me, anybody in the comments, if you can pull up what she was in. I just lost the page.
I guess I could look myself.
She was in Greenleaf. She was in Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
That's what I'm thinking.
She was in Medea's Family Reunion. She was in Head of State. I'm reading the things that are later. She was in Napoli Ever After. She was in the George McKenna Story. I don't really know. The Women. I don't know what that was. She was in something called All Things Fall Apart, and with 50 Cent. The King's Faith. The Cosby Mysteries. That doesn't sound like a good thing to be in.
No.
And she was on in a movie called The Wedding, The Slugger's Wife. I remember that movie.
Do you know what I'm thinking about? Wasn't she in Boomerang?
No.
Who am I thinking about?
Whitfield? She wasn't in Boomerang. We just watched that last few months ago.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. It's an all-star cast. And she was like, she was like one of a really like, refined, feeling kind of upper crust actress, just gorgeous. Haven't heard too much from her since. But who else did you love? Who else's performances did you love?
Okay. The aunt, what's her name?
Moselle?
Yes, Moselle. Who played Moselle?
Debbie Gibson.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. This is not Debbie Gibson.
I was like, I don't know. Her face is so familiar, though, so I feel like I've seen her in other things.
Debbie Morgan. She, her face is so familiar because she used to play Angie on One Life to Live or was it Angie and All My Children? Some soap opera. Which one? All My Children. Yeah, she played Angie. Was the first African American to win a Daytime Emmy Award. And so that's how most people know her, because she played Angie for like 30 years.
Word.
And then was, in other stuff too. And so that's how you know her. I think she probably stole the show, I think, for me. She was the main person that I was the most interested in.
Yeah, she got it. She did that. Also, I was even interested in like the voodoo lady. Like I felt like with a
Diane Carroll.
Yeah. With a crazy character like that, it's like sometimes kind of easy to go too far, and she really was Diane Carroll, so she really nailed it.
I mean, it's Diane Carroll. There's nothing more. I mean, she's, was rest her in peace, gorgeous and glamorous.
And even when taking the gorgeous and glamorous away and painting her face white and making her Fortune teller, she was still epic.
Absolutely epic. And, it was a who's who.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the reason why even Samuel Jackson, who wasn't really a main character, he was, it's a small cast, but it's an
Mm-hmm.
ensemble piece kind of, but he wasn't like he wasn't the star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And even he brought it's Samuel Jackson. So he probably brought it to life in a way that a lot of other folks wouldn't have been able to do. What did you think about the storyline? I mean, to be honest with you, if by today's standards, I thought that the storyline didn't go far enough. Basically, the synopsis is, not to give any spoilers, but basically this takes place in the 60s Louisiana. And one of the things that was interesting to me is that they didn't really, well, I'll give my opinion in a second, but it takes place in 60s Louisiana, and there is the entire piece kind of builds, and you can kind of just see how the town works. Who's the town gossip? Who's the town, who people would call the town slut? Who is the doctor? Who's the mailman? Who's the psychic? So you get to see all that stuff, and then there's a twist and a crime happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm just letting everybody know, that's kind of what happens. So what did you think about the storyline? The catalyst for the murder? Is what I want to know. I want to know what you think of the storyline. Go ahead. Excuse me.
Storyline, it didn't move fast enough for me. Watching it now, that was one of the things that, like, I definitely watched it last night, went back and rewatched it last night, and then also had to rewatch the end of it this morning because I passed out. It didn't really move fast enough. It wasn't cinematic. I was like, I really wished I could see this on stage as a play. Because
it read like a book or a play.
It read like a book or a play instead of a movie. We're used to, by modern standards, movies like hitting us with information,
Yeah, and just so much. And you have to go back and you have to go back. But I was sitting around and honestly, because I hadn't seen it before, for the first 45 minutes, I was like, when the hell is this movie going to get started? And what is it about?
Right.
I was waiting to figure out what this is about. And you kind of don't know until the moment with Megan Good. Shout out to my girl Megan Good, by the way, who's looking so fierce. Her eyebrows are so on fleek these days. Not until that moment with Megan Good and Samuel L. Jackson downstairs after the fight when the parents fought, and then the big okay, whatever. We can spoil it.
Yeah.
When the sexual assault allegedly happens.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh. Although I had some suspicions. They did do a good job of planting that seed that, something ain't right between these two.
Uh-huh.
But I was, that was basically the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then also the crime that happened was the end of the movie for me. And then it continued for a few minutes longer. I was like, when is this?
Yeah.
And then it didn't end on an up. Or down. It just ended
it was just kind of like, that's life.
But you know what? That's how 90s music was. 90s music never had an ending. It always had a fade out.
It was like, that it faded out. But very good observation.
Right.
But one of the things that I think that they didn't do very well is they didn't do that good of a job establishing that this was actually 1960s Louisiana. They kind of... you could, it felt like it could have been happening right now. Just the clothing was a little it just looked like, people coming today but wearing vintage. It just looked like they were wearing vintage clothing.
But you think the whole family is vintage? If you got a whole vintage family, that's a little strange. You might have a vintage
family. I got a vintage family.
You got a vintage?
No. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't think it was taking place in 2021. Obviously, the movie came out in the 90s, but I couldn't tell what era it was. And you would think that, not that this was about that, this was specifically about their family, but you would think that the segregated South would have played some part or affected their lives in some way. Mm-hmm. This was like, they were living in a plantation house in the South. you would think that there would be um, some taste of like what segregated 1960s Louisiana was like. You know, that some of the injustice or some of the dynamic, you know,
Hmm.
that was racially charged because it was. And I mean, I wasn't there. I wasn't in that neighborhood, obviously, then.
Hmm.
But I would imagine that there must have been something. And you would think they would go past like you know, a coloreds only, a whites only sign or something to show that this is where we are and this is what it
Right.
does to us. I don't know. I found that disappointing because I actually searched to see what year did this take place,
Right.
you know?
And I feel like
So,
nowadays, if a movie is made about a time where, you know, with heightened racial inequality, it's always referenced. It's like when you look at Lovecraft Country, when you look at, you know, American
yeah.
Gods, even like every, you know, like a lot of movies made about America always reference that. But in the 90s, that's not kind of what black cinema was going for. We were really trying to present ourselves as like, kings, queens, like don't look at me as unequal. Let's not highlight inequality. They were, I mean, it's part of
Mm-hmm.
the reason
Mm-hmm.
why it got so shoved under the rug, you know, in the trying to build the glamour of it and ignore the reality, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, this like sort of we did there was like a fascination I think with the deep like sort of antebellum South, you know, which doesn't take place. It's obviously not pre-war, but the it still has that it reminded me of like a strange cousin to Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I don't know if you ever saw
But
that
like
movie.
a bad estranged cousin because that movie is everything.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, not as good, not as interesting, and not as engaging. Strange cousin
Right.
to Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and that movie did a really great job. Also, even though this is about, you know, Mississippi Burning is about racist Mississippi,
Right.
but they do a good job of letting you know exactly where you are and exactly what year it is and
Hmm.
how unmistakable it's not. This could never be. I felt like I was watching a movie, a 1990s movie that they were wearing clothes from the 60s. That's what it felt like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, their whole family was the like Brady Bunch, like stuck in the, you know, a different era.
And I was like, you know, why would she say the kids, it was just so bizarre to me that she was so affected by that vision to not have the kids leave the house. I don't know. There were some major holes in the story where they had so much time. This movie was too long to not give us more information. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would have liked more information.
it was really, really strange. Like, I mean, I don't know, but like, I could never see a mother doing that. That's really, it was really, really weird.
You, and these kids, okay, here's the real thing. The way that these children talk to their mother,
In the
and I think
60s.
in the 60s, just when she started cursing, saying GD this, GD that, like all of a sudden she just started cursing out of the blue. She's a sailor. My mother would have fucked me up, honey, if I came out my mouth talking about like that.
My mother would
I couldn't believe this.
still knock me out. She like would still.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't curse at my mom now.
I don't
I
curse
have
around
cursed
my
at her
mom.
once, I think once or twice as an adult. But this girl did it like 5 times in one scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't buy that.
I get upset when my mom, sometimes when my mom comes to drag shows, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk about penises. And I don't want to hear my mom even hear me talk about that.
Girl, the other day I heard my mom talk about penis. I almost fell out my chair.
Ah! Oh, so my mom decided.
I was like, Mom!
My mom decided that since I talk about it so much that she has room to now, which is quite interesting.
Ah!
Oh gosh, it's really real.
Let me check these comments. If your mom talks about penis or vagina,
Right.
put it in the comments. I want to put a slice of pizza or a eggplant in the comments,
It's like
and I'm gonna check and see.
a slice.
I mean, what? Oh no, what else would have been
a taco.
I'll put a taco, not a slice of pizza, a taco.
But now you got me wanting pizza though.
I almost stopped and got pizza today.
But I'm not in New York. That's where the pizza is. I can't eat pizza here. It's not right.
No.
I can't make it through. There's one pizza place by me that I like, and I can go there because it's like they got a bomb sauce, but like it's not pizza. Like pizza comes from New York.
It comes from Italy, actually. But
It comes from New York.
okay, I'm going to check these comments. What is the impact on your personal life of this movie?
Okay, on my personal life, it did impact one thing. Because when she made her kids stay inside, it made me think about where fear is controlling my life. Because it made absolutely no sense to do that. And, it was just like, how is fear controlling our, like, what are we staying inside and hiding away from? That's like, girl, something's going to happen. We can't prevent it, but what is fear holding me back? What parts of my life are fear holding me back from existing in? That's what I
actually had that talk about somebody I had that talk with I had to talk about that with someone today, about fear, because we were talking about how, discrimination happens and what are some of the things we want to do to stop it. And that it's a different kind of fear, obviously, but that, really what fear will make you do.
Yeah.
That sort of fight or flight thing that happens with people. I just was really disappointed in in the mothering and the parenting, not just the mothering, the parenting of the kids in this movie. I just thought they were getting a real raw, just this bad deal with these two parents.
I mean, even the grandma, like, where was the grandma?
What kind of grandmother? All she did was complain and criticize them. Like, she didn't like, hold on, let me think. And she didn't like the kids.
She gave up on them. She literally was like, whatever, let your kids die. She literally said that. What grandmother? What grandmother?
She's like, oh, and then she got upset when they were celebrating that her kids didn't get hit by the car,
right?
By the bus.
What grandmother would do that to their grandchild? One time
she was what? Granny, go home.
No, but one time
go home.
One time my mom smacked me in front of my grandma, and my grandma smacked my mom. And she said he didn't deserve that.
Oh, honey, a fight. What if they start a fight? Girl, Lord. Girl.
No, because you can't.
Does this, do you think this movie holds any relevance to the events of today? Like, could we make this movie today, and would it be the same if we did?
No, we couldn't at all. I mean, this is not how a black family is nowadays. No.
Wait. I forgot to ask. If you're in the comments, I'm going to know how many people actually watch this movie now that we've talked about the whole damn thing. How many people watch this movie? If you watch the movie beforehand, put the comedy and tragedy masks. That's the closest thing I think we have to like a Mardi Gras mask. So put the comedy and tragedy mask, which is those two masks, one's smiling, one's frowning. Put that. I think that's on everybody's keyboard emoji. Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
It's fine.
Why couldn't we make this movie?
Because, this wouldn't be an African-American family. Like, this could have been August Osage County for me. This was some white people shit. No tea, no shade. Like,
when them kids started talking about to that mother, I was like, oh, honey, that is not a black.
This is not at all a black.
It's not a black family.
This ain't even a rich black family. This the Cosbys. The Cosbys would have never talked to Claire Huxtable this way.
Honey, Claire Huxtable would have never allowed it. She would have never allowed it, darling.
Absolutely not. And that's rich black people. So it just wasn't an African American family for me. And like you said, the styling was off. The only thing that let me know that we were in Louisiana were the ties to Creole culture and voodoo, but
speaking of that bad patois that they were speaking, oh my God, it was so bad.
And they even got voodoo so wrong. They got voodoo so white. Like, I was just like, what is this caucasic ass, description of what voodoo is? It was very, very
It was for because they wanted I think they wanted it to be like a universal kind of for white people to really like, you know?
Right. It's kind of like when you go to like a really fancy Chinese restaurant and the soy sauce ain't salty. It's like, who the fuck is this for?
What kind of restaurant have you been to where the soy sauce ain't salty?
White people's Chinese restaurants, the expensive
Oh,
ones. The really is with the girl.
girl, I don't think that's not even a thing.
Yes, it is. They be watering that shit
Let me
down
check
for
these
white people. I
comments.
swear they do. Listen,
Okay, there's some people that watch. There's a few. Okay, what? How important is it for people? Okay, so I tell this story every single week. The reason why I started doing this show because we were in pandemic, I had nothing better to do. But I also remember being kind of disappointed and a little bit kind of my feelings hurt when some folks didn't want to. Some of my friends who I would go and see movies with didn't want to go to me with me to see some of the black films that I was seeing.
right.
And so that's why I decided to do this because there's so many films that I've seen that many folks haven't ever seen. And I think, just in general, we already know that in the past, black cinema has been sort of treated as sort of a niche market. It
Right.
wasn't until Black Panther came out that people thought, oh, and that's not even a black film. That's just a film that has a black cast.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is a film. It's a black film, but it's not written or directed or created by someone black
Mm-hmm.
about you know realistic black stories and experiences. I digress. What? Why is it important for people to engage with and support and see black films?
It's really funny because I was just having this conversation with this lovely boy that I've been currently dating in LA. He's 6'2", he fine as hell. Um, and I was explaining the importance of it to him, and also I've started to watch black movies with him. Be- Especially the throwbacks, the old ones, the classics, because those movies got skipped over. Those talents got,
Mm-hmm.
completely skipped over. And what was really normal of them was to, just like Eve's Bayou, pack a bunch of black talent into it. And so they're just great examples of black work that we can't ignore. And it's a tendency in this country to ignore people of color. So I think it's really important, if you consider yourself an ally, to take a look at those underrated pieces of material that are only underrated because they were including an all-black cast or written by a black person. That
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
so important. If we really want to create equality, we've got to go back and stream those things too, because the streams still count. You know?
100%. I agree. That's couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I think it was we paid a price already, but 2020 did allow us, if anything, to all connect on a deeper level, to get to know more about each other and look into these moments and kind of take control of that and really all contribute to destabilizing or dismantling systemic racism.
Yeah.
And so, just another reminder for those of you that are just joining us or watching. Before the show, Honey and I talked about what was the worst meals that she ever made, what her biggest pet peeve is, what was left out of Drag Race that she wanted to be included in the show that we never got a chance to see, and also Honey's type of drags. That was what we talked about. Now, I want to say thank you very much to Honey Davenport. You can catch her new show, Da Fuck, season 3, which starts. When is it airing or starting?
It starts airing in the end of February. The end of this month. Yeah.
Okay, next. Oh, it starts at the end of this month.
Yes.
Okay, so
Please.
keep your eyes peeled for Honey's. It's on your YouTube page, right?
Yeah, my YouTube page.
On Honey's YouTube channel to see The Fuck season 3.
Yeah.
Honey, you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming and joining and sitting with me and talking about the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thank you to Honey Davenport. And we are going on to our next segment, which is our favorite products of the week. And this week we have Sugar Pill Liquid Lip Color right here. In Trinket is the name of the color. There, that's the packaging. And here is the product. Now, it took me a minute because I wasn't really paying attention to figure out how to open this because it looks like a lipstick. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's lipstick. It's upside down. So you grab it by the white end. And I guess I should get a mirror. I've been sitting here with just lip liner on the whole time because I knew I was going to put this on. So, oh, it smells so good. It smells like lemony or something. Yeah.
That looks good too, girl.
It's pretty and it's God, it smells so good. What is that smell? I
My
know
lip
that
gloss came
smell.
from the dollar store, so it don't smell like that. I might upgrade.
Well, this is a matte liquid lipstick, and I'm really into the matte. Well, it's kind of matte. Wow, actually, it's matte, but it's got some like metallic shimmer to it. So it's like matte and gold. Um. Anyway, it goes on really really creamy. I've used it before. I was using it this week. It's a little drying. And so, keep that in mind. It costs $18 at Sugar Pill. And you can get it online, sugarpill.com. They sent this to me and I was like, yeah, I gotta try it. And they don't send me a whole lot of stuff, Sugar Pill. But I really do like this. I'm curious. This is the only color that they sent. I'm curious to see what the other colors look like. And but this seems to have a lot of coverage. It's very thin. I almost can't tell. Like when I was putting on my lips, I couldn't tell whether it was going on or not. It just felt like, I could feel the brush moving on my lips, but I couldn't tell how much product had been applied or not. And so that's really interesting because it has good coverage and it really does, has great color, but it's very lightweight, which is great. But I think I do like to have, like right now, it's totally dry. So when you put it on, rubbing the lips together, when you go like that, there's not that much of payoff for that, It's just you put it on and you're done. So that's it though. It's gorgeous. Check it out. Thank you so much to Sugar Pill. And a recap: if you're just joining us, please head over to my Patreon to see everything you just missed. It's now time to spin the wheel to find out what our new the movie of the week next week is going to be. We're choosing between Watt Stacks and what is this? Watt Stacks and wait, hold up.
What movies have you guys done so far?
Oh my gosh, we've done. Mitch, what movies have we done so far? Oh my God. Oh, we've done Sister Act 2. We've done, oh God, in the comments, what, just the kids in the comments always know. Oh, we did last week. We did Truck Turner with Willem, which was great. We did Sister Act 2 with Bob and Alexis Michelle. What else? What are we seeing in the comments there? We also did. Oh yeah, we did Boomerang. That was fun. Strange. What, Rafe? Rafe is breaking up with us.
And my cat is trying to get in.
Yeah. Oh, we did Baby. Did we do Baby Boy? Yeah, we did Baby Boy. We did Baby Boy with Tyrese. We did Baby Boy. Did we do? Oh, we did with American Gangster. Oh my God, that movie's so long, American Gangster. We did Poetic Justice. We did Baps. Okay, so that's what we did. Yeah. But we're choosing between, and Barbershop 2, which is basically the same as Barbershop 1. We did How Stella Got Her Groove Back, Class Act. Okay, thank you, Rafe. And so, yeah, people are coming through in the comments, honey. They know the list. The movies that we're choosing between for are Waiting Exhale and Watt Stacks. Those are the choices for next week. Okay. And I like to do this. Wait, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I like to lean over I want to make sure that you all can hear this. So those are the two choices. That's Waiting Exhale. It just says waiting. Okay, let me make sure the volume is up so we can get some nice play. You can hear the volume. Here we go. Next movie is Waiting to Exhale.
Yes!
All right. I mean, I love Waiting to Exhale. I was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. Okay, that's Mary J. Blige, Not Gonna Cry. So Waiting to Exhale is next week's movie. And watch it, y'all. And listen to the soundtrack, because there's some good. There's Brandy sitting up in my room. And I'm missing you. Shaka Khan, Brandy, Gladys Knight, and Tamia sing "Missing You." And then there's, of course, Mary J. Blige, when "Not Gonna Cry." And there's also God, what else is on the? Now I gotta see. Well, we'll talk about that next week. The point is, watch Waiting to Exhale, and so that you will be equipped to talk about the movie with us. The next week's special guest will be announced on our Patreon and on social media. And make sure you check the announcements beforehand, so you can watch our next movie beforehand. You know, you already know what the next movie is, so watch it, and then we will see you next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. I'm tuning in.